No.
Cat's purring, do you hear her?
No.
She is there, she is purring. Meowie.
Meowie. Love cats.
Aye. So I'll tell you when we should be live pretty much any second now. There's a little gap.
Swearing will stop now.
Okay, so we are live.
Woohoo!
Hey, right, so hi guys, I'm the Creepypasta and I'm joined by
Ammy Mansfield.
there you go, Amy's link is in the description there. I couldn't think what the word for link was there. Oh my god.
Been one of those days, has it?
It has been. It's been one of the best days I've had since I became ill, actually. It's been great.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You've had that for ages now, haven't you? You just really got over it.
Well, I mean, I'm still kinda, I'm still pretty much in it, but it's a lot better than what it was, you know. It's, as I say, I've had it since August 2015. So
right, we're not on about the cold.
Oh, the cold? No!
Yeah,
No.
you had a cold, didn't you?
Oh, the cold's gone. The cold's gone.
Yeah.
I was wondering what you mean, and they're like, yeah, I'm not better. No,
That's what I thought. Oh, I know you're not.
No, I know.
You never really get better from it. You just learn to live with it, basically.
Yeah, that's what I'm told.
Yeah, you never really get rid of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I can't remember a time when I didn't have it. You know, like, it's not a very good subject, but anyway, anyone that's watching from your like mental health side of it, I can remember when I was little, like things would happen and I didn't know why I felt that way. And now that I'm an adult and I know what it is, I'd be like, you know, when you have like your first day of school, I'd have like these horrible chest pains and like fears of like and feelings of dread and sickness.
Yeah.
And it was because I was so scared about, you know, anything coming up that was anxious, but I didn't know what anxiety was. So
Yeah.
I didn't know I was feeling that.
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, looking back as well, I've pretty much always had it to some degree as well. It's,
you never really realise.
Yeah, I mean, I just like really like nervous before going on things, and not in the same way that other people are nervous. Like, I mean, like, say I was going on a roller coaster, you know. But if I go, oh, I'm so nervous, but I'm having a good you know what I mean? And I was just like, I'm going to die on this roller coaster. That is it. That is my life now. That's me. That's me done.
Oh god.
But but it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. But looking back on it now, you know, I had some kind of depression things going on as well.
Yeah, same.
You don't really think about it at the time because it's just like that. All right, this is just how life is. But then once you get a bit older and you go, hold on a second, that's not what life is at all. That's utter nonsense.
No. You realise, don't you?
Yeah. It's a weird thing.
The older I get and the more I know, it's like when you look back you think, oh god, I was like what, 8 years old and having panic attacks. Like
I know.
you don't realise it at the time.
My first full blown one was when I was 15 before a maths prelim or exam.
Oh really?
Yeah, like I was sitting in tutor group before the exam started, and I was so nervous about it because I'm terrible at maths. To this day, I'm terrible at maths.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
But I was so nervous about it, and like I got myself into a right panic, but I didn't say to anybody. And my hands closed up, and my face went numb, and like it just like a numbness from my chest just spread out into my hands, and my hands closed up and stuff. Yeah. Looking back on
it's weird how it affects you physically as well. Like not too long ago, I won't say names or anything, like, you know, anonymity, but at work someone had a bit of a like turn, they fell down, and my dad come and got me and he was like, can you just sit with such and such, and I was like, it's an anxiety attack. As soon as I sat with the person and I could see the way they were acting and their arms were going funny and their chest and stuff, I was like, it's an anxiety attack.
Yeah.
I knew straight away, but I remember I was having one of my driving tests because I passed on the 4th time. Yeah. Embarrassing, I know.
No.
I think it was my second test, I think.
Right.
Which I should have passed, but my wheels touched a painted roundabout on the floor, so he failed me instantly.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, I know. And just before we were going, like, we were sitting in this room. I don't know what it's like up there, but we had this, like, it's like an officey sort of exam room. You sit in that, and then they come through the door, and then you're, like, shit in your pants.
Yes, pretty much.
Poop in your pants, sorry, before. My whole left arm went numb.
Oh, my.
Because I was having such bad anxiety attack. And my instructor was like, just go get a glass of water. I was like, you don't understand, like, I can't really walk, like, that's how bad it was. It was like crippling on my nerves.
Yeah.
And then just after when I had my last test is when you and Steph got married and you gave me your rescue remedy.
Yeah.
And that's what I believe to this day made me pass.
Really?
Yeah, because I had like nearly half of the bottle before my test, and I actually felt like not calm, but like it was controlled.
Ah, yeah.
And I don't know if it was like a placebo effect, but I felt a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, I used to carry around one of those bottles with me for the longest. In fact, probably for about a year, I carried one of those bottles around with me, and I couldn't not have it with me. If you know what I mean, it was like.
Me too. I always have one when we go to the airport and stuff as well, just in case.
Yeah. Sometimes it's good just having that there just to
like a comfort,
even if you don't exactly. I mean, like my bottle of water is my crutch, if you know what I mean. It's like I'd say, in fact, Steph got me like one of those FC UK bottle of water ones, and I say it's a designer crutch. So yeah, it's one of those weird things, unless you've been in the situation, and it's kind of impossible to understand it to any real degree.
People think, oh, you're just being silly. It's like, it's not.
Yeah.
It's like a mental condition that affects you physically as well.
Yeah.
So people might think you're just getting in a flat, but actually there's nothing you can really do about it, especially when all your like heart's beating so fast it's causing all your limbs to go mental.
I know. It's like,
it's not easy.
Like I'm much more in control of it now than I was, and that's a really good thing. I've still got a ways to go. However, I do believe I'm getting there now, and I'm pleased with that. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
you can really tell, like from when me and Sparky saw you that time, you can barely even hold your head up. Like
I know
you're actually going out the house and stuff. It's really, people might think it's silly, like just the normal task of like, you know, going down to the post box or going to get some food or something. It's when you've got your mind racing at 100 miles an hour and your heart, it's not easy to just do a normal task.
It's terrifying. I mean, it's the kind of thing that somebody would feel if they were in a real life or death situation. You know, if you were if you're a soldier on the Gaza Strip or something, you might be feeling something similar to what I felt when, you know, at one point I couldn't make it to the end of my own street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a bizarre thing to say.
It is dangerous as well, though, especially with like your heart and stuff. Like you could keel over. It's not.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not simple.
No, it's not. It's not as simple as that. Really, I mean, it's The best thing to advise for somebody that has got anxiety is to go to the doctors and get everything checked out. I mean, because I didn't know what mine was when I first started it, I went to the doctors. I mean, I swear to God, I had ECGs. You know, they hooked me up to a machine and everything to check my heart, and that was actually
because you wouldn't know, would you, if you didn't know what anxiety was?
Yeah,
you'd think you were having a heart attack. That's what happened. Well, has happened.
That's exactly right. I mean, you know, if you can get it into your head, okay, right, I'm not having a heart attack, because I mean, there was a great book I read at the beginning of the thing, because as I say, I had the ECG and then it came back, my heart was 100% fine, and I says, right, okay, well, what the heck's going on here? And as it transpired over the months, you know, when I couldn't breathe and stuff, it turned out, you know, it was anxiety, obviously. And I read a book by a doctor called Claire Weeks, and what she basically said was that, like, the human heart, you know, assuming that your heart is healthy, and that's what the ECG did. That told me that was the case. You know, if you go to the GP, if you go to your doctor, they can get these things done for you, and that can reassure you. But you know, assuming your heart's healthy, I mean, your heart could beat faster than any human's heart has ever beaten before, and you know, throughout history, it could beat like that 24 hours a day, continuously, and you would be, you know, the heart itself would be absolutely fine. Your heart's, you know, the heart doesn't work in that way. The heart is such a strong muscle; it could do that all day, every day, forever, essentially. So that's one of those. That was the first reassuring thing for me, because I used to have this thing where I was convinced my heart was stopping.
Yeah.
But obviously it wasn't. So.
And I suppose just getting that off of the table as well probably helped the anxiety too. Yeah,
well, absolutely. I mean, the thing which happened with me was it was pressure that actually got to me, because it started when I was going to be a father. And you know, it was one of those things whereby I had it in my head I had to have as much money saved as possible. I had to have everything in the house done. I had to be the best daddy ever and protect. We didn't know whether he was going to be a wee boy or a wee lassie or whatever. But you know, that was my thing. I mean, I still think that I've been put on this earth to make sure that Ben's all right.
Yeah,
but before it was sort of I can't even trying to explain it now that I'm past it. It's nuts. I can't even put it into. It is crazy.
You don't really get a choice with what triggers it, though. It just happens. It could be a menial thing, like, I don't know, having to go to a meeting, or becoming a dad. It could be anything. You're just wired different ways. It's not. You can't put a number on when you're going to have it. It just happens. You can't control it.
That's true.
But you know now what the trigger was, and I don't think you could be better parents, to be honest, if you tried. So I don't think you need to worry about that.
Well, the thing. And I swear to God, this is I've actually listed today as probably the best day of my life, because last year, when we took Ben, he was only just born, and we took him.
December baby, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right. And we took him to see Santa, and it was actually in Sainsbury's in my hometown, and I went in there and they had a big, Scottish band playing. So I went in there and instantly, your senses are just getting bombarded like it's the Blitz or something. You know what I mean? So you get the bagpipe, you know what I mean?
Enough to send anyone off the nut.
I know, it really would. But I went in there, and then we went up the sort of stairs to I think it was like the staff offices in Sainsbury's.
Right.
Yeah, and Santa came in and everything. There was 30 kids running about screaming their heads off and stuff. and to somebody like me, I mean, this was terrifying, literally terrifying.
Yeah, of course. I don't know how you managed that, to be honest.
It was I can't even put into words how terrifying it was. But it was just a case of, I was like, right, we need to see Santa, get Santa seen, take the photos, get the hell out of there. You know what I mean? It was like I was doing it like a smash and grab. You know what I mean? It was crazy. But today's the best day of my life, or very certainly one of the best days of my life, because I went to the Ayr Racecourse today to see the Santa. It was actually a charity thing for the Ayrshire Hospice,
that's nice.
Which was a really, really good thing as well. And I stood and waited in the queue for Santa, and I was all right. And then we went in and I spoke to Santa, and I had Ben there and Steph's parents, and you know what? It was fantastic. It was just.
I bet it was really nice that you two both getting to do that.
Oh yeah, it was just the best. It was just the best thing. And the thing for me was that I actually enjoyed it outside of because I said to Steph later on, I says it was like I was in the moment and not in the anxiety.
Yeah, that's really good. It's learning to not let it take control of what's happening right now, because looking back, some things when I've been through, when it's been really bad, I can't even remember things happening, because I was so focused on what was happening to me physically and mentally that you can't really remember what you were doing at that time, or the moment that mattered the most. You can't, because it just takes over you. It's all you feel and think at that moment. So that's really good. You didn't let it beat you.
No, I didn't. And then we actually went to see the Coca-Cola truck, the holidays are coming.
Yeah, that's really good as well. You just walked up to a complete stranger as well, and you're in the midst of all those people.
Can you believe that?
You look fine.
I can't believe it.
No, I can, because I've seen you like that before, but...
Yeah, from before when I was well. I haven't
known what you've gone through.
Yeah, it's
a huge improvement.
Oh, it definitely is. I mean, as I said, a few months back I couldn't get to the end of my street.
No.
And I mean, like that's not like a figurative thing. That's literally. I would try to get to the end of the street, and I thought I was going to die right there on the pavement. Literally die. It's just, and it's nuts. You can't. But it's so real at the time.
Yeah.
You can't explain it afterwards. You go, well, that was just crazy, but. At the time, it's just so real. It would be as real as if somebody came up and slapped you in the face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's as real as that. It's happening.
But looking back on it, you're like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
But at the time, it doesn't feel like, oh, that's silly. It's like the only thing that you can think of.
Yep.
The whole world's crashing. I didn't go out of the house for, I think, nearly a year. When I was at sixth form, I was going through a really bad time.
Yeah.
And that was mainly depression, not just the anxiety. But I literally would go to sixth form, come home, and I would just lock myself in the house. Barely spoke to anybody, wouldn't leave the house at all. And that's when my panic attacks started really getting bad, because I would be like, it was mainly about my body and stuff. I was really anxious and depressed about. So if we had to go anywhere, I can remember going to a christening with my mum, and I literally sat on the floor and was like crying and like couldn't breathe for like ages because I had to open my chest of drawers and pick something to wear.
Oh my.
That's how bad it was at one point.
Oh my goodness, poor dear.
Yeah. I know. But it's weird how things affect people in different ways and the reasons why you end up in a panic attack.
Yeah.
Because like you said, becoming a father and things like that, like normal tasks like walking down the road, you felt like your heart was going to burst. But me opening a chest of drawers or picking a t-shirt to put on, I just couldn't do it. I would cripple myself, like couldn't.
Well, sometimes I think it works on. It's almost like it looks at your brain and says, "Here's your worst fear for you personally."
Yeah.
Like, because I was terrified that I was going to die and leave Ben and Steph to be, to bring it up on their own. I actually made a video at the time, which is not actually on YouTube. It's private, so nobody can see it but me. Yeah. But it's me giving advice to my unborn child in case I died.
Aww.
You know what I mean?
Oh my god, that's really deep, man. I didn't know that.
No, well, it's just one of those things. I mean. But looking back on it now, I'm looking at the. It's not me talking, you know what I mean? It's not me.
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it?
It's really strange.
It annoys me when people are like, no, they don't. It's not that people don't get it and they're just like, oh, that's silly or poo-poo it. It's just they don't really understand it. I suppose if you've never seen anyone go through it, you wouldn't understand it.
Well, I think how like putting myself in somebody else's shoes who's just been normal their entire life, how could you understand that? You know,
yeah, you couldn't really.
I mean, it's it's just such a
just
such
us
a
go.
bizarre
Oh yeah,
thing.
we had a panic attack because we couldn't do this. People are like, right, get over it, sort of thing. But it's not like that in the moment. It's not like, oh, I'm flapping. It's like it's physical as well.
Yeah.
You can't help what your body's doing.
No. I mean, and my jaw and my face used to move. My face, it still does it sometimes if I'm in a really bad thing. But I mean, it was constant at one point where it was just like my jaw.
I've never seen that before with people with anxiety because I knew what you were going through. But when I actually saw you, it was not shocking, but I felt like, oh my god, this has actually like really physically affected him.
Yeah.
Because obviously Sparky had seen me in situations where he'd have to literally like cradle me like a child and rock me back and forth to get me to stop. But you couldn't actually physically move your head properly, and I'd never seen that before. So it does affect people differently.
Oh, it definitely does, and even the consultant was quite surprised that it had affected me in that way. But I mean, when you think about it, it's adrenaline acting on your nervous system.
Yeah, and that makes total sense when you say it like that, because it would be it'd be shocking you all the time, wouldn't it? Like sending.
Well, pretty much, yeah. It's kind of like getting tiny little electrical impulses that you can't feel, but they're happening constantly all the time. You know?
Yeah.
And,
it'd be like going on a roller coaster upside down forever.
But yes, exactly. It's like get yourself to. Get yourself to that level of adrenaline and fear, and just keeping it there constantly.
Like you're about to do a bungee jump, and that's how you feel forever.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's basically it. Like when that person had the attack at work, and my dad was like, "Oh God," and he looked at me, and I was like, "That's why I'm in the doctor's office all the time because I think he's seen me before get a bit funny, but never to that extent before." Yeah. And it really shocked him, obviously, and we care about a lot of the people that we work with because we're friends outside of work. But he had no idea really what was going on, and he got me because he sort of knew, and he was just like looked at me like, and you could sort of see like not the shock on his face, but
he's like, "Is this what?"
He's like, "Oh my God, this is actually a thing that people go through." And I was like, "Yeah, that's what happens to me." He was like, "Oh," like the realization on his face. I don't think he understood it at first, but.
No, I mean
it was good. It was good I was there.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
You know what to do.
Because it's a terrifying thing for the person, especially if it's their first one, you know.
Yeah, because our arm was going funny. She thought she was having a heart attack because I said to her before, I was like, "You sure you don't have anxiety?" Because she said she'd had heart pains and stuff, and she'd been put on beta blockers, which I don't think are really that good of an idea if you've got anxiety.
No, I was on them at first, and they were horrible for me.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea because you can't really control the algorithm of your heart, and putting you on beta blockers is quite dangerous, I think. And she was on those, and she thought she was having a heart attack, obviously because her arm had gone funny. She was shaking as well, and her arm was spasming. So I knew it wasn't a heart attack because of the way she was reacting. If you had a heart attack, you'd be on the floor. There'd be no way around that.
Yeah.
I knew straight away, really. I was like, you're having an anxiety attack. But especially when that person's going through it at that time, they don't want to be told, like, you're doing this, you're doing that, do they? They just want to...
Yeah.
So I just kept breathing because her heart was going so fast. She couldn't really control her body. And she kept going dizzy and wanted to fall backwards or, like, go to sleep. And I was like, you need to breathe in really deeply to slow your heart down, because otherwise you're just going to get worse.
Yeah.
Because you flap yourself even more then, don't you? Like, my arm's going funny, I'm having a heart attack, I'm dying, that's it, you know?
Yep. Absolutely. I mean, I've had all that, and it's so real feeling at the time. You know, it's just. I mean, you think this is it, that's a heart attack. And again, the beta blockers thing. My doctor put me on beta blockers at first, and I'm right. Let me get this right, because I don't want to put out wrong information out there. But for me, they always made my hands extremely, extremely, extremely cold. And
because the circulation.
Yeah, exactly. I think they would. Am I right in saying that they sort of reduce the circulation? Am I right in saying that, or is that...
A beta blocker is supposed to slow your heart rate, right? So it would, because your heart isn't beating as fast as it would. So your circulation, if you think about it, your heart pumps blood, right?
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be doing that as fast, would it?
No, I don't suppose it would. Yeah, so my hands were always cold, and then you go to yourself, right, is the blood getting to my hands? And then that just starts off the whole thing again.
It's even worse. But also, if you're on a beta blocker to stop your heart from getting irate, and then you get irate anyway, surely that's putting more strain on it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I know exactly what you mean. It's kind of one of those things. I think beta blockers, I don't think... Like, for somebody who was normal, let's say it for somebody who was normal, well, just relax them a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, possibly. But I think someone with, like, severe anxiety, or any sort of anxiety, really, putting them on beta blockers, I don't think is a good idea. I think learning what's actually happening to your body and how to deal with it is probably a better idea.
Yeah.
Because you can calm yourself down. The beta blocker isn't going to really, like, solve the problem. It's just going to, like, soothe over something a bit. But if you're constantly, like, walking around with a bit of anxiety, you should know what it is and get it dealt with and diagnosed, not walk around with beta blockers, because you could just, end up having an attack anyway.
Yeah, well, that's right. A lot, and doctors don't put some of them don't put their patients on beta blockers without first checking their heart and everything. No. You could have an undiagnosed heart condition as well as anxiety. So that's why it's very important to get to your doctors and say, listen, I want the ECG, I want the all the tests, just
to make sure, and it will make you feel better as well.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best advice you could give somebody, and then from that point you start normalising it. It's a fight and flight response. It's just happening out of context because you've had sort of a lot of pressure on your nerves.
Especially when you go to a doctor and you realise what the problem is, and you start to take control and resolve your issue, and resolve and live with it. You feel so much better anyway, because you know then that you've got control on it, if that makes sense.
Yep.
And that you're doing something about it, and it's up to you now. Like, it won't just take you.
That's right.
But even going for a blood test can help determine what, even with anxiety, I had no idea that you could have a blood test which would show a reason as to why you can get anxiety, because it turned out that after all these years of being a vegetarian and a vegan and having perfect iron levels, I'd actually become anemic.
Right. My goodness.
And that was making this is why I said to you about iron tablets, because being anemic had actually made my anxiety 100 times worse.
Yeah.
Like normally you have anxiety when you're going to do anything, like, oh, I'm going to go to the shop, but what if? Or I'm going to go do this, but what if? But having being anemic, I would just lie in bed and I've had a perfect day, I've got nothing to do the next day, I've got a day off work, and it would start. And it wasn't even like I was thinking about anything, it would be my heart itself. It was like beating 100 times faster, and I felt sick, and I was like, I know I'm having anxiety.
Yeah.
And because my heart's going on, I can feel it, and I've had it a million times before, but I don't have any explanation as to why.
Yeah,
I wasn't even thinking about something to make me nervous. It was just happening in my chest, and I wasn't sleeping.
Well, that's another good point there, because a lot of the time the doctor's saying, right, so what are you thinking that's that's making you worried? And you go to yourself, but I'm not thinking anything that's making me worried. I'm worried about the symptoms I'm having. That's what I continually say to my doctor. I say, I'm not worried about anything. I'm worried about the symptoms I'm having.
It's affecting your life. Like I said, I couldn't even sleep.
Yeah.
and working nights was difficult anyway to sleep. But I couldn't sleep because my heart was beating all the time, and haven't gone to the doctors, and I knew the reason why, so I knew I wasn't having a heart attack or anything. That sort of helped. I didn't have an attack or anything because of that, but I could still feel like that dread and pressure in the chest. And it turned out I was anemic, so I had the iron tablets, and it has stopped it. Like if something was going to happen to give me anxiety, like anything in life, I would still get the anxiety, but I don't lie down or just sit quietly and feel my chest go anymore.
Yeah.
And that was for no reason either. It just happened. It wasn't like it was a point in my life where I needed to be more anxious. It was just, this is happening now. Just got to deal with it.
Yeah, that's pretty much hitting the nail on the head right there, really.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult thing to deal with, but you know, with the right help, it's something that you can definitely cope with and get better from. You know. Yeah, that's the best way to say it. I mean, for me, like, because I said to my doctor, I says, well, I'm back to how I was before. He says, yeah, or better, because you're able to deal with the things which were happening before, and you
understand it, or you're not walking around thinking you're going to die.
Exactly. And it sounds so nuts now. I don't have any thoughts that I'm going to die now. Not very often, anyway. And it's you know, looking on it now, it just seems crazy. But I've still got ways to go. But I think I'm getting there now. I'm happy with where my progress is going.
Yeah, I would be too. You should be really proud of yourself.
I'm extremely proud of myself, especially today, because doing that was just, you know, a few months ago, we're talking that would have been literally impossible.
There's no way.
No, it just wouldn't. I just couldn't have done it. I would have broken down before I even got out to the card, because I knew what, you know, because I would think what was coming. You know,
it's the build up as well to doing those things that is sometimes worse.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. I would definitely agree with that.
I couldn't believe that. I knew you were out today, but I didn't realise like where you were. And then when I saw the video and stuff and the pictures, I was like, oh my god, he's out on this huge, great big event thing. And you saw reindeer. Best day ever.
Yeah, no, it was nuts, man. It was crazy. And I'm just so proud of myself. Really, really proud of myself.
I would be too.
Yeah.
When you, like, from a year on now, and you'll be even better, you'll look back and you'll be like, wow, I really overcame that. Like I said, I couldn't even leave the house at one point.
Yeah.
Like, I was just for nearly a year. And one thing that got me out of that was I got my first job, proper job. I was working at the Landmark Theatre on the bar, and I had no choice then. I had to go, and as anxious as I felt, and I just dealt with it, really. I just had to do it. So I would leave the house then to go to work and to sixth form, but I wouldn't really leave the house for other things. But looking back on that now, it's just like, oh my god, I literally spent a year of my life locked away because I couldn't deal with it. But I couldn't dream of doing that now.
No, I mean, because you want to be out and doing things, you know, you want to be doing things and seeing people and having a great time. And
you don't want to miss out, do you?
No, definitely not. I mean, it's a shame, because there's a lot of people who don't get the help that they need. You know, because
they don't understand or anything.
No,
do they?
because I've joined a Facebook group, and I've been reading about this, and some guy came on and says, I've been living with it like this for 20 years. He doesn't leave the house. He doesn't do anything. You know what I mean? I says, for God's sake, that's so. I mean, that's cruel. That's not what life is supposed to be for at all.
No, it's like he's made himself a prisoner.
Yep. And that's the thing. That's the big thing about it. Nobody makes you a prisoner except yourself.
Yeah.
That's the really cruel twist of fate about it.
Yeah, that's really sad.
That is sad. You just hope that people get the help, because some people are so. I mean, at one point I had to go, like when I was going to the GPs, I couldn't wait in the waiting room. I had to go round the back where there was where the doctor's offices were. I had to, I had to stand in the corridor there and wait for them to call me, because I couldn't physically be in the waiting room.
No, I know how you feel, because before I knew I was anemic, I would go into the doctors, like I'd done a million times before, and sit in the waiting room, and it would start, I could feel my chest going, and I'd have to do breathing exercises and stuff, probably look like a mentalist. And when I was explaining it to my GP, because she's great, I really love my doctor, really and she really understands. And I was explaining to her, you know, I was sitting out in the waiting room and I could feel it, like the tightness in my chest, and I had no reason to be anxious. Like, I know you know me, we've talked 1,000 times before, and when I got in the room with her, I was fine. But sitting there, I had the chest and the heart palpitations going for no reason at all.
Because I don't know about you, but like for me, at least partially, it was because I would be thinking to myself, well, you start to do your breathing exercises and you try to get your breathing under control, and you think to yourself, everybody's hearing me breathing, everybody's watching me, everyone's looking at me. The reality is, I mean, this is the real reality right here. Nobody cares. Everybody's got their own wee bubble going on, though. That's the thing. Everybody's got their own wee bubble going on. Nobody is caring about me when I walk down the street. Nobody's even noticed me. You know what I mean? And that's the same for pretty much everybody. You know, but when you've got anxiety, you think everybody's looking at me. I'm Kanye West. Everybody is looking at me and looking at my Yeezys on. Oh, what are they thinking about my Yeezys? You know what I mean? It's just it's crazy.
That's a lot of that was the whole reason why I went down a spiral, is because I think I call it body dysmorphia disorder. Yeah, where you don't see what actually your body is or anybody else sees of you. You can't. It's really hard to explain. It's like almost like a mental film over your eyes. I'm not really sure how to explain it, but that's why I wouldn't leave the house. That's why I had to struggle getting dressed. But when I would go out the house, that's all I could think. I couldn't be in any other mindset. Like, everyone was looking at me, everyone thought I was disgusting, like that sort of thing. But at the time, you don't realise, and like you can't control your mind sometimes, and that's what pushed me down. And I can't even remember coming out of it really, but it took a long time. Like a long time. Like, for years, I never left the house without makeup.
Yeah, my goodness.
For years, I would never leave the house. It's pretty bad. Looking at it now, it's like, that's so stupid. Like, I can't wait to not wear makeup. But looking back on it now, it was a sickness.
Yeah, it's something that it usually starts off something small, and then it builds up, and then it builds up. I mean, for example, the reason why I carry my water bottle around is because when I was at work and trying to cope with my work and with being ill, mentally ill while I was there, the thing which I used to sort of try and help me was, there was a water machine, you know, one of those water fountains outside of my office. So every time that I would start to feel myself going, I'd go out to the water machine and take a drink of water. Now that then translated into, I'd need to have a bottle of water with me if I was walking around the hospital. You
don't realise, do you?
No, it builds up on you.
You hold on to things, didn't you? Yeah.
And then one day you turn around and you say, I can't actually physically leave the house without a bottle of water. What the blazes am I doing?
Yeah.
But I can now.
It becomes almost like a obsessive habit. But you don't think about it like that.
Yeah, it's mad.
It's funny looking back on it now.
Yeah, I mean, I took the like, for the bigger things, I still take a bottle of water, put it with me to places. But I can go out a walk without a bottle of water now. You know, which I couldn't do before. I used to have the bottle of water with me at all times in the house, and I don't do that anymore.
See, it got to the point where you had to do that in your own home as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, it took over my life big time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and again, looking at it now, you go, what, you have to drink water at a time? Are you nuts? But it's so real at a time. It's like,
and that's your only crutch.
For me, it was like the life-giving elixir. You know what I mean? Yeah. If I don't have it, I die. That's it. That's.
I just wanted to hide all the time, and if anyone saw me, I felt like I was gonna die.
Oh man.
Like, I had to, you know, like Beauty and the Beast. This is really silly, and he had to like hide himself because nobody would love a beast and all that, and he would like slash his paintings and mirrors and stuff. That's what it was like. Like, I had to avoid everything.
Oh,
it was
my
really
goodness.
Bad. Sparky's looking at me funny, but
it's such a shame.
It's part of our lives. Huh? Yeah, it is. Especially like when you I feel sorry. 20 years he's been like that. Not leaving the house.
Well, I mean, like when you go on these anxiety forums, there's so many people like that help that they need, because they don't.
No, but people don't understand it, do they? So they don't know that they need help.
Yeah, that's right.
But for anybody feeling the same or feeling anything like this at all, make sure you go to your GP.
Yeah,
It's not silly. No one's going to judge you. Just go. Even if you're just feeling a bit sad.
Well, and the other thing about it is, it affects so many people. It affects many more people than what you think it does as well.
Yeah, people don't realise, do they, how not like common, but it is a common thing. A lot of people suffer with it, and you need to get it under control. If it's, you know, lack of iron and you're a bit anemic and that's causing you to have heart palpitations, or if you're having troubles going outside because you feel anxious or upset, you know, you should definitely go to your GP, even if it's something minor.
Yep.
And they go to you, okay, you just need to take some iron tablets, or, you know, they teach you breathing exercise or something.
Yeah.
Go and have a blood test, go and see a GP.
That's the best advice you can give, really, I would say.
Definitely.
Yeah. This is some Pokemon vlog, isn't it?
There's meant to be a Pokemon chat, and then Duncan leaves us alone and we go down memory
lane.
Yep,
there you go. We trip down memory lane. Fun times, story corner.
Story corner. You should change the podcast title to like mental health awareness with Ammy Mansfield.
Let's see if I can do that.
It is good though, because not many people really talk about it. You'd be surprised how many people you know as well that suffer with it, and you have no idea. Bad.
There we are.
Rapid.
That'll do for just now. I think that'll be. I think that's changed properly now. So
yeah, I've just refreshed. It's changed. And then Duncan will come in and we'll be like, nope. I need a wee again now.
I think these podcasts are quite a good thing.
Yeah, it's fun as well. And it like normally before, like I said, I've got to go to work later on, but before I go, it'll be like, I know I was playing a bit of the TCG, and that it gives you something to look forward to, sort of.
Absolutely, yeah? I would say so. And Sparky there can say hello to him for me.
Yeah, and Time says hi.
Hello.
Says hello. He's going to play, well, he's in a matchmaking thing, but League of Legends.
Nice.
Yeah. He doesn't work Saturday night, so he'll be playing on League until I get home.
Pretty good.
To annoy him.
Saturday night at the movies.
Saturday night on League.
Every time you say League, I always think of Pokemon League.
Yeah, me too. I have to like distinguish between two.
I've got Pokemon League tomorrow.
Have you?
Yeah.
Have you? Is there a tournament or anything on, or you just?
No, it's just normal, just a normal session.
So do you run the door on that for Duncan?
No, nothing like that. It's at the Troon session. Generally I'll help out at the shop kind of thing. At the It's that kind of thing, you know. I'm not really in the position of like Duncan runs it, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not really in the position of doing that kind of thing at this point. Whether I will be or not, I don't know. That all remains to be seen. But it's good. I enjoy it. I enjoy going to League. I enjoy playing at League. I enjoy talking to folk about the cards and stuff. And it's good. Yeah. It's just a good thing, and you know.
It's good to have a hobby to keep you going as well.
Absolutely.
Especially this. Like, I mean, obviously, it's you know how I'm feeling at the moment as well. You're going through something very similar. This last month has been extremely hard. Like really difficult. And like the whole Pokemon side and YouTube thing, and you guys, it's really like given me something to focus on, and to not have to think about other things. Not that you want to forget or you need to forget, but
it's healthy to sort of do other things, though, because if you focus on it all the time,
and keep your mind occupied, and still enjoy life. It's hard when you've like suffered a loss, especially someone close to you. To remember to carry on living. And it's really helped, actually. I've had stuff to look forward to and things to get excited about, and at the time you just don't think you're ever going to feel excited about anything ever again.
Oh, I know. I've been there. When my grandma passed away, that's it just devastates you, and you know, it's just a horrible thing. It really is.
It's hard as well, especially when it's a grandparent. Obviously, when you're younger, you grow up with them, but also seeing your parents go through it as well.
Aye. Yep.
I think it's really hard, especially to try and stay the one that's strong and be there for that person who's suffering whilst you're suffering as well. And having struggled before with our experiences, I think it's a real test on you as well, because you've got to put aside everything that you're feeling for a minute so that you can hold on to someone else.
Well, for sure.
And that can be really difficult.
Yeah.
But also really rewarding, because when you see that you're there and you're helping that person through, that helps as well.
Yeah, it's a difficult one for me, because crikey, I'm trying to support family members who need it, and then at the same time they're saying to you, look after yourself, and it's a difficult thing. It's hard to draw the line between looking after yourself and looking after other people. It's difficult to do.
And also, the people say like, oh well, are you looking after yourself? Don't forget to look after yourself. But the way I'm looking after myself is by giving myself something to focus on. So looking after people is helping me.
Yeah. Well, everybody deals with it in a different way as well.
Of course.
Like when my grandma died, I took the day off for the funeral, and that was it. And
I'm very similar. Like my mum, I don't know how she's managed it, but she's gone straight back into work after everything. The day that my granddad passed, I went into work that night. I wasn't sure if I was going to, but I did, and I did my shift and I left. I didn't go on a break or talk to anybody, because I think the shock of it puts you in a weird overdrive.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't have thought you just went and seen, that person dead, and then you go straight to work. And same with the funeral. I booked the day of the funeral off. I've been straight back to work after. But my mum almost instantly has been like straight at work the whole time. She's like basically only had a day off. But you've got to let that person do that if that's what they want to, the way they want to deal with it.
And if that works for them, then that's a great thing. I mean, the thing with me was I thought that would work for me, but it didn't. I mean, it was apparent straight away that it didn't. I mean, I just I couldn't take my mind off it when I was at work. I mean, a lot of people can do that. They can take their mind off things when they're at work. For me, I would have loved to have been able to, but I couldn't.
No. I mean, it does help to give you something else to focus on. That's why I wanted to be back at work. But also, like when you're, I mean, I stack shelves for a living. Like, so it's like a physical thing. But when when you've done your job for years, you're just on autopilot, really, aren't you? Sure. So I'd end up thinking about things, and then feel like I was going to walk around and cry. But if I wasn't doing that, I'd just be at home lying there thinking about it and wanting to cry. So I think it's better. Well, for me it is. Obviously, it depends how everybody else copes. But by having something to do, you give yourself a purpose. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have to complete this task before blah, and then you can deal with that. You can deal with that.
Yeah, that's a pretty fair assessment, I would say. It's whatever way you do it, it's going to be difficult. There's no two ways about it. It's a process that you have to go through to become better again and to get through it. It sounds like a selfish thing to say, I want to get through this experience, but the person that you've lost wants you to get through the experience as well.
Yeah.
So it's not selfish.
No, and also it's especially with me, things like the way I was when I was really bad with anxiety. It's if the people around you as well that it affects, which at the time you don't really realise. But then soon you like either harm yourself or like lock yourself away and not join in anything in life and being really sad. It hurts the people around you as well, and I don't think you realise that at the time. So you might think that, oh yeah, it's selfish, but it'd be more selfish to let the people that you love suffer by watching you suffer. So I think you need to keep a clean mindset as well. And when people say to you, "I'm worried about you," don't get annoyed by it or think that when people say to you, you're being silly and things like that. They're not being.
No, they just can't see you. They just can't see from your point of view. They can't.
And they're worried about you.
Yeah, it's difficult to see that when you're in the situation, but it's definitely true.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
It's very, very difficult. Yeah. Wow. Let's play an ad. I love it. Do click on my ads.
I didn't know you could do that.
Oh, I'm not allowed to say that. You're not allowed to say that.
What are you going to play now? What are you going to play now?
To ask people to interact with the ad. I just remembered. I just said, do I have to click on it? Then I realised, no, you're not actually allowed to say that.
No.
Oh,
no.
Dear.
I'll click skip.
What?
I'll click skip. I'll click skip.
Fair enough. There we go. I recorded a song today, a Christmas song.
Is that the one you uploaded? Is that the one you uploaded?
Did you hear it?
The Spaceman one. The Spaceman one. Yeah, I listened to it. Yeah, I listened to it.
What did you think?
Yeah. It's quite good actually, yeah. It's quite good actually, yeah. I mean, I'm really not in the Christmas spirit this year at all. But no, it's always good. Good listen, to be honest. You always do like songs and music that not that I've never heard of, but I'd never actually choose to listen to. It's quite cool.
That is quite cool.
Yeah. Songs that you just think they're poo, and then you hear it and you're like, actually, that's quite good.
That rap I recorded the other week.
Oh, you should check this band out. They're called Walk of the Earth or something like that. It's like a group of people. Like and they have all these other people come in and out of the band, like dancers or different musicians.
Different magicians.
They basically make all the music themselves. And you should really look at the song that they did, Hello, from Adele. They did their version of it. And you know those stick things, those toys, you spin them around and they make a noise?
I think so. Oh, yeah.
And they spin. They use them and everything. It's so good. It's so good. Like, I'm not a fan of Adele's music, and I definitely don't like the song Hello, but after hearing that, I do. I really love that song.
Cool.
Yeah, you should watch them. You'd really enjoy it, I think.
I'll get onto that.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think you'd really enjoy that.
That's pretty cool, man.
Plug someone else.
What do you mean plug somebody else? I'm not plugging somebody else. I plug my own channel. And yours and Duncan's and all.
What did you Coca-Cola one? This channel was sponsored by Coca-Cola.
Oh yeah. I thought that was so funny. I just decided to just do that on the spur of the moment kind of thing. And you can see the woman.
That's good as well.
The woman in the background just looks like, what the blazes is he doing?
She's like, oh, am I in the video?
I know. I didn't. Normally, I ask people if they want to be filmed and stuff. I didn't. I just did it. I was like, you're wearing the Coca-Cola jumper.
It looked like you were just filming yourself though. So she's just like, They probably get it a lot though, because the Coca-Cola bands probably get a lot of attention. We had one in Barnstable last year, and me and my friend were more worried about getting free Coca-Cola, to be honest.
Oh no, it's so cool. You get the free cans, man. It's brilliant. But that one there was actually the queue for the free cans. Yeah. And I just thought that was brilliant, man. Like it's just something nice, and it's free as well, you know. Yeah. So it's just something nice that you can do.
Gotta love freebies.
And it's so good after such a long period of not doing anything. It's so nice to go out and enjoy things and see people being happy. Yeah. That's such a nice thing that it's not really, the world isn't really like that anymore for the most part.
I think if you choose to see it that way, it is. But to get your mindset in that direction, I was having this conversation with my dad because not like he's negative, but he always chooses to see the bad side to things. And I said to him, there was a thing I saw on Facebook or Instagram, and it was like, if you had £83,600 in your bank account, and someone stole £10, would you spend the £83,000 trying to get that £10 back, or would you let it go?
Ooh. See, I run a budget blog, so
in reality, what would you do?
What would I do? Yeah. Well, if that's the two choices, if this is a world where
let it go or spend every penny trying to get that back.
If this is a world where, like a hypothetical world where that's the two choices, then I would let it go.
Right.
However.
Right, and I said this to him, and that was the post. It was like, let it go. And then if you chose let it go, it's 83,600 seconds in a day or something. Something like that. I'm not good at maths and I can't remember. But would you spend the whole of your day being bitter and twisted and being negative, and just for that 10 seconds that you could have just let go? Like, I said that to him, and he looked at me like, like I put it in perspective. Like, you've got to, it's up to you, and it's your choice. I mean, obviously some things happen, you can't control them, like, you know, someone passing away or whatever, but you can choose to be bitter and twisted and sad and, you know, horrible, or you can choose to be like, no, I'm alive and I'm breathing the air. Let's, you know, enjoy that for a minute.
I think that's I've never heard that before, but you know, when you said that there, I was thinking from a purely budgeting point of view.
That's what I was thinking when I was reading it. I was like, from a money's perspective, I'd be really annoyed, but actually I'd probably let it go. It's only £10. And then when I read it, it was like, there's how many seconds in a day? You waste the whole day just worrying about the 10 seconds. So it could be anything that, you know, someone swore at you, or they called you a name or something, or they bumped into you in the street and they didn't say sorry. Would you spend the rest of the day feeling anxious or annoyed or angry about that, or would you just let it go and enjoy the rest of the day? Like, when you think about it like that, you're like, oh God, of course I'd let it go.
Absolutely, if that's the kind of thing. But here's what I would do, and if it happened in the real world, and let's say I had £86,000, somebody stole £10 out of my bank account, right? Here's what I would do.
You'd hunt them down and kill them?
No, what I'd do, I'd phone up my bank and get them to, because if somebody's able to steal something out of my bank account, that's the bank's fault.
Yeah.
So first of all, I say,
right,
get the security measures put up on this account, right? Find out who did this, and stop them doing it so that nobody can ever get into my bank account again.
Be safe with online banking, kids.
Yep, be safe with online banking. Don't write down your passwords, remember them like a miser, like me.
Yeah. But the whole point of the thing was, don't just waste your whole day being bitter and twisted about one little incident that could have been. You just ignore it. You have a choice. I know some people are like, well, you don't. If someone's mean to you, like, you do have a choice, really. And once you realise that and you separate yourself, it's a lot easier. You can be like angry or upset or really annoyed, or you can just be like, no, actually, I'm not going to. And you probably, my boyfriend's just done a thing, you know, swearing fingers up. That's how you need to look at it, really. You can have an argument with someone or let them affect you, or you can just pull yourself away from it and be like, no. And it is hard, but I think once you learn how to separate yourself, it's a lot easier. I mean, I've been a lot happier regardless of things that have happened to me personally, because I've separated myself and let things go. And it's simple. You go, oh yeah, let it go. That's easier said than done. But once you learn to do that, you can live life a lot easier, I think.
I'm proof of that. I'm proof of that. Well, it's a difficult thing for many people to do, is to let that kind of thing go.
Yeah.
But
especially in the spur of the moment when you're heated, like you say, with an argument or something, it's very hard. But
I've got such a I'm not like, how do I say this?
Not confrontational. Not confrontational.
I'm not particularly confrontational, but at the same time, I go from 0 to 60 real fast with my temper.
Oh, me too. Yeah. Me too. Yeah.
That gets me into trouble sometimes, because because I don't like it wouldn't, like when you're saying there about the 86,000 seconds or whatever, it wouldn't bother me all day, but I would snap back real quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. And that, although don't get me wrong, you should never let yourself get treated badly. You should always treat others how you want to be treated. But if you could avoid a massive argument and confrontation with someone who is irate, then you should do that. Like, obviously you should stand your own ground and never let anyone treat you badly. But if someone's going at you and they're in a bad mood,
if they're being totally irrational about it, and just
isn't going to help.
Because some folk, there is no point in arguing with them, because they'll always be right. Like,
there isn't.
You know, I mean, there's never any winning with those kind of people.
You end up going back and forth until it explodes even more, and it's not worth it at the end of the day, when you could walk away, have the higher ground, and then both apologise later. And that's the same with any situation. If a bad thing happens to you, like, obviously that you can't control it, so why get that upset about it? I mean, obviously some things are going to happen in life that are going to upset you and make you sad, and that's just life. But you know, if something happened that was bad, or you know, not very good, to get upset about it and let it affect you that much is just silly, especially if you've got no control over it whatsoever. It's not going to change by you being nasty or angry or sad, so you might as well get on with it.
Pretty much.
And not feel those things.
Firework just went off there. Yeah.
Or did it? You know, I'm not going to be the negative Nancy here. It really annoys me that people are still doing fireworks. Think of the animals,
Yeah,
people.
well, yeah, I mean, the animals, yeah, but I mean, for me, it's just like, you know, I don't know if it's the same in England, but certainly in Scotland, it's like, for about a month before bonfire night, they've got fireworks, like, constantly fireworks, right? And then about a month afterwards as well, it's like, why don't you just do it on the one day where you're supposed to, where it's actually, like, all right to do it, where people know that you're going to be doing it?
Yeah. Especially then people can like, you know, keep their animals in, or like put those adapter things in. It doesn't really bother my cat too much, but like not that long ago he was bitten. I told you, didn't I? He had that abscess and stuff. He wasn't very well anyway. He was really like sheepish and sulky, and then all these fireworks kept going off as well. And I know a man, or one of the guys at work, said that his dog was actually so scared that she was full on like dribbling, like uncontrollably shaking, and couldn't control her to either because she was so scared. So think of the animals, people, and fireworks.
But while we're on the subject of budgets, see how I segued that round there? Like I was like Kilroy Silk or something, you know, like it was subtle, but it worked, you know. I mean, it's just like
it wasn't set up, but yeah.
No, like, it's a subtle like a sledgehammer. But while we're talking about budgets, how is your budget going, Amy?
Really good. I haven't spent a penny today. My boyfriend's shaking his head again. He doesn't understand the struggle of not opening a packet of Pokemon.
It's really bad, man. It's so bad.
But he went shopping earlier. Food shopping though, so the food shopping didn't count, right?
No, food shopping doesn't count. That's on Amanda today.
Yeah. Don't you just hate having to spend more money than you have to on things that you need to spend money on?
I hate it so much.
People always like to me, you're cheap, you're tight, and it's like, no, because I'll spend money on something if I want it. Like, and if it's an expensive item, I'll have it if I want it that much. But like, if a block of cheese is like £2, or you can get it for £1, which one are you going to buy?
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm exactly the same. It's like I budget everywhere else so that I can have fun where I want to have fun, you know?
Yeah, so you can spend your money where you want to spend it.
But I mean,
I will say that Christmas coming is driving me a bit insane.
I haven't done anything for Christmas yet at all, I'll be honest. I haven't bought any.
The only person I've like, I've got Sparky's dad's present because he's like seriously the hardest person in the world to buy for, and I've done all my nephew because I'd been buying him stuff from like June when things were going in the sale, and I stockpiled it all, and he's got a lot of stuff to open, so I'm gonna like give it to my sister to say it's from Santa, and then just give him one present from me. But other than that, I'm just like, you know, when you put yourself on a budget and you're like, oh god, I've got all this stuff I need to buy. I've not been feeling Christmas this year.
No, it's
can't imagine you have either, to be honest.
No, I mean, in terms of, how can I say that? In terms of like seeing Benjamin at Christmas and stuff, because he's going to be one this year at his Christmas, and I think he's really going to enjoy it, and that's what it's about for me. I mean, I want to see him enjoy himself. I'm not really too bothered about how much I mean, you know, I'm not really too bothered about that for me, you know. I mean, because if at the end of the day, I'm an adult. I mean, if I want to buy myself, if I want something, I'll just buy myself it, you know. If it's expensive, I'll save up. And, I mean, I only wear Air Jordan training shoes, for example. I can't ask somebody to buy me a 400 pair of Air Jordans, you know. But I can save up my money and buy them myself.
I think it's really nice to get something nice as a present, because every time I have a birthday or it's Christmas or something or anniversary, Sparky always gets me something really, really nice. But it's nice when you've saved up for it and then you buy it yourself.
Yeah, it's a real feeling of achievement, that.
I'm an adult now. Yeah, I'm an adult now, even though I still live at home and have a Pikachu tail for Christmas this year.
That's different.
It's the little things in life, people.
I mean, I hear a lot of people saying about, like, you know, it's I live with my parents, so I'm not growing up. But I don't think that's really a measure of it these days, because it's so difficult to get onto the property ladder these days.
See, people have said to me, like, I've got a lot of friends, and obviously Sparky has as well with you, that are, like, either married and they have a kid, or they're, like, getting engaged and stuff. And a lot of my friends still live at home, because we're all in the same... not like but an era of age, if that makes sense. And people are like, oh yeah, but you can't get married or engaged, you still live at home. But a lot of the people I know are still engaged or married or whatever, and they still live at home. Because in these days, like you said, it's really hard to get on the property ladder.
The house prices in England are just absolutely nuts.
When Sparky told me that you and Steph had first bought your first house and the price of it, I was like, what? How the hell did that Like, that's not even, you wouldn't even see that around here at all.
No, it just wouldn't happen down in England at all.
No, like a flat down here is like £500 a month rent, straight up. No parking, and then you've got your council tax and everything else on top. It's especially around here, like, I don't know, most towns, like where I live, probably, it's a lot of unemployment, there's not really anywhere to work, and when you do find a job, it's very minimal contracted hours, so you can work overtime, and you can save your money, but actually, if you had that as a wage every month, you wouldn't be able to.
No, but the thing is, you know, mortgage people, you know, you could go in with a 0 hours contract, but let's say you work 40 hours a week because your boss always gives you 40 hours a week, you know what I mean? Let's say that, for example. But see, unless you've got it contracted, the mortgage people don't want to know about it.
Yeah, you won't get a mortgage because you can't guarantee the payment of it.
That's exactly right.
Same with the bank. You can't have certain bank accounts anymore unless you're going to have a certain amount of money go in every month.
I know, it's mad. It's really there's something really, you know, in this country, something really needs to give, because there's no houses, affordable housing for anybody. You know, everything costs way too much more money, way too much. That's what it's like round here. They're on about building more houses, and it's like, what, more houses for people to live in, but nowhere for anyone to work. Like, this town is literally just going to end up as people, and there's nothing wrong with you being on the brew or being on benefits, but that's literally all this town is going to be. Because it's a seasonal seaside town for anyone that doesn't know. So in the summer, it's really busy and it's thriving everywhere and it's great. But in the winter, it's dire. There's nowhere to work. There's nowhere open. So there's nowhere for people to go to buy things anyway or to work. And the nearest place that has anything is Barnstable, and even then we have barely anything there too. So it's literally just going to end up houses everywhere, people living in it, but no way to pay for the houses they're living in. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous when you think about it. We don't need another house. We need like a Debenhams or something, so that people can go to work. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm waiting for, a Debenhams around here, so I can go and get a job on a makeup counter somewhere. Like, there's just no opportunities now, though.
No.
You have to.
No.
I mean, that's why I'm doing YouTube so much.
Yeah.
Because it's you know, it's the only thing in this day and age that you can do which will make you money, but you don't actually have to spend on it.
No, exactly, and you can also do something. That you enjoy at the same time. I mean, nobody enjoys their job. Nobody enjoys their job. I'm sure that's the reality of life, really, isn't it? But at that point in this town, we don't really have a job that you can have that you won't enjoy anyway, unless you know it's really scarce.
I would say so. I would definitely say so.
We've gone on a right tangent, haven't we? But if you look at like Sparky, he moved down to England to get a job.
I know.
He was telling me there was a cafe job in Ayr, was it? Somewhere. One job, I think, was like a waitressy job, and like 2,000 people.
I tell you what, that story, I actually told him that story, and it was in Cumnock.
Yeah, he just said that. He was like, he just said that. He was like, it's just.
Yeah, and my grandma told me that. That's weird. That's weird to hear that story again, but it's true. It's 100% true. That story.
That just shows you how bad this economy. Well, not the economy so much as the like the choice of living. Like the choice of living, if that makes sense.
There's no jobs anymore, really. It just doesn't happen anymore. No, it's a sad thing. The government really needs to get their arse in gear and get it sorted out.
Yeah, we need more like. I'm going to mention Donald Trump now, and a lot of people are going to be angry.
No,
but
you
he was saying about
stomp the Trump. No, you can't stomp the Trump.
You'll lose a lot of subscribers now. Sorry,
I love Trump.
Well, he said, and I agree with him that. You know, a lot of the companies like Ford and things like that were in America are moving over to places like Mexico because it's cheaper for them. There's not as much tax and they can make more money. Well, we need to keep like big enough companies like that in our countries and in our nations, whatever you want to call it, because he's reducing that tax and things like that so that companies will stay in America and earn the money. That's what we need. Like, I'm sure it's the same in Scotland, probably worse than it is down here in England, but we need more like I said, like a Debenhams or a factory and I know they're like, but the more things you put in, the less money people spend, but it never used to be like that. Years ago we had more shops, more factories, more
and everything was produced in Britain as well. What Donald Trump is wanting to do, and I completely agree with him doing it, as what he wants to do is make taxes on stuff coming in from places like Mexico and China. So that the companies that are producing these things, they'll produce it with the cheap labour and stuff, and then when they try to sell it to someone in America, it becomes more overpriced because of the tax on it, and nobody buys it.
Yeah, and then because of that, they'll have to pay their employees more anyway.
So what Donald Trump is saying is he wants people to set up businesses in America and make things in America.
Yeah. Exactly, and that's what we need. And that's what we need around here, and I'm sure in Scotland too, because you keep it all localised. More people have jobs. It's better.
And everybody's saying, "Oh, he's a racist," and he hasn't said anything racist though. What he has said is he wants control of the borders. That's not saying don't let any Mexicans in. It's saying have some kind of.
Also, if you look at Australia, they have control over their borders, and you need a working visa and something to go over there. They don't just let anybody in. You have to have a trade or a job lined up or a visa. So why isn't everyone calling Australia racist?
I don't know. And the other thing about Australia is,
do you know what I mean?
Like their government, like for example, like let me think. So they've got brands. Let's say it's a chocolate bar, right? Let's say it's a chocolate company. Yep. They've got Australian brands over there, right? Which they, they are made and produced and everything all in Australia by Australians, and they can sell to the shops for a decent price, but it's not overpriced to the consumer. Now, let's say that Hershey's chocolate from America tried to get into Australia. They put taxes on foreign brands, so it's actually. It doesn't, for an Australian doing their food shopping or whatever, it doesn't make sense to buy foreign brands because they're so expensive, like ridiculously more expensive. Yeah. So that's how you help the economy from the country that you're actually in. Now Scotland, for example, is buying in steel from China. Scotland used to be the biggest manufacturer in the world.
My mum was telling me this, that it's ridiculous. Yeah, because can you imagine if that got back into business, how many people would have jobs and wouldn't have already lost their jobs?
But it all got shut down in the 80s and then phased out through the 90s and early 2000s, and it's all gone now. All gone. Scotland was the biggest manufacturer of many things, but my mum's had this conversation.
Yeah, my mum's had this conversation with me
crazy.
Before.
And you got because of the EU as well. They've imposed things on Nissan and Toyota, all have plants in England and Scotland. Now, they don't pay, the money that they get from that doesn't go back into Scotland or England. That goes to Japan.
No, it goes into the EU. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, you're right.
So basically, because of the free trade agreement, which we have with the EU at this point in time until Brexit actually happens, because of that, Toyota, Nissan, all of these Japanese countries can come, companies can come over into England and Scotland and set up plants and stuff, and all the money from that, none of it goes to Scotland and England. They'll just happen to be.
This is the thing you say about the free trade. We never see any sort of benefit from that at all, and it's not exactly free because what the hell's going on with the fishing and stuff for us?
Yeah, Norway stops us fishing in the North Sea.
Right, exactly. So that's not free trade, is it?
No, it's just. I mean, but a lot of these countries, Scandinavian countries, aren't actually members of the EU, but they get the advantages of being signed up to the free trade because for them, I mean, for France and Germany, that works for them.
Yeah, of course it does.
But Britain is. But look at. I mean, in a sense, Germany's ruling us in a way, but economically. Mm-hmm. I'm beginning to sound like Alex from Prison Planet. I don't know, what's his name again? Alex.
Prison Planet. Not on about Alex Jones, are you?
Jones,
are you? From.
I'm beginning to sound a little bit like him. But Germany is ruling us economically because of the free trade agreement. It works for some countries, and the other countries that it doesn't work for. That's why it works for other countries, because they're using our country as a sort of a labour plant, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if it works for those other countries, they should stay in the EU and carry on to thrive. But for us, it doesn't make any sense to be a part of the EU anymore. And I know there's a great divide, and everyone agrees and disagrees and thinks it's a really bad idea. But I think it's a good idea. Charity starts at home. concerned, and obviously I'm not saying I don't like other countries or won't support other people, but look at the state that our country is in, and yours, I'm sure. There's like the unemployment's rising, the population's growing, there's nowhere for us to work, soon there won't be anywhere for us to live, nobody for us to earn money. So I think looking after our own is a good idea.
You know, at least in the short term. I mean, we're giving all the money away to like aid in third world countries and stuff, and of course somebody, you know, I mean, it's good that somebody's helping them. Of course it is. But it's us that's helping them. We're not in a position to do that. No, you know, if the banker or the accountant was looking at it honestly, they would say, well, you know, you can starve yourself and let other people eat, or you can eat yourself. You know.
Yeah, but it's not even that either. Most of these, like, I mean, it's different if there was an actual trade involved, and we send materials as a country or something to build houses, or, you know, but in this day and age with the charities that are set up, the ones you see on the adverts online and stuff, like the chair people of those charities get paid like £250,000 and live in like mansions, whereas the people on the charity on the adverts are starving and dying, and it doesn't make sense to give them £1 because they only see like 13 pence of it. So yeah, it doesn't really make sense these days. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense these days to do that. Like, if you want to give them materials, like I said, like we sent over things for them to build, and you know, that would also, you know, it would give people something to do over there. There'd be jobs from that as well. It just makes more sense than throwing money at people that aren't going to see it. In my opinion, anyway, I'll probably get called racist. No, okay. Yeah. Will do, Mum. Just being told to feed the cat.
Well, that's an hour and 10 minutes now.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go in a second anyway. I've got to get ready for work and feed the cat now, obviously.
I think that's probably a good place to call it, and that was good to talk to you, though. That was really good.
Yeah. Massive. We didn't even need any questions from that cool Ammy Mansfield.
No, we didn't. We got on really, really well without them. So.